Hi.
Hello, how are we?
All right. Hello. How are we? What do you think? Is it a little better? No.
It sounds like you're bored. Like, hello,
Oh, that's
hello.
funny. Oh, I'll figure it out. I dropped my jaw. I dropped my jaw a little bit for that, but I'll keep trying. Dang it.
Yeah, because we know how these Australians are like slack-jawed yokels.
But maybe that's a good voice in general. Maybe I don't know. I'll work. I'll,
So,
I'll work on it.
um,
I won't work on it.
all right, so check this out. Does this work? Okay, good. Okay, so, and this is mostly Casey's fault. So Casey showed me how to bulk upload things to Spatial.
Ooh.
So, you know Carnage from Spider-Man? You know Venom, Carnage, Cletus Cassidy?
Yes.
Okay. So what I did is I used the Dream Studio to create a bunch of Ethernet cable maximum carnages,
Whoa.
right? And so I generated maybe, I don't know, 30 to 50 images. Once I got the prompt, you could just keep repeating it, right?
Right.
So I made a bunch of images and then I
Ooh.
bulk uploaded it to Spatial. So this tutorial I'm uploading now is like a minute and 6 seconds to go from the Dream Studio to a full spatial art gallery.
Amazing. That must look so cool.
I like Carnage. I like the idea of Carnage, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Casey, this is all your fault.
It's your fault that I'm on Wombo, so you're welcome.
Wombo's so like yesterday. Okay. It's like all
Mhm.
about Dream Studio. Hey, Mason.
What's up, Mason?
Shaking there, folks.
We're just questioning our humanity by creating AI art.
There could be worse things in the world. Womboing it up, are you?
No, look, I'm a little more classy than Wombo.
I
That's
think
Casey.
I think Casey works for Wombo.
Yeah, he's a plant.
He is. He called me up the other day and he's like, Wombo, Wombo, Wombo. Get Wombo, do Wombo. You can do anything on Wombo.
It's like this. It's like the slowest play ever, where he's like he doesn't even help people with their houses
Nope,
or loans.
nope. He just tells them
It's just
Wombo.
this 2 year
Nope.
con.
It's pretty neat app, though. I got to admit, it's pretty cool. Like, I ran a couple NFTs through it, and he
Hmm.
came up with just shit that didn't even look like an NFT, but it was like it looks like something else, like very steampunky. That was the one I picked, right? And it was just amazing. Like, I was like, wow. I know it's just computer generated fucking random graphics and shit, but hey, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it.
So what I did, I was joking around with a friend. I have this. I'm not sure if it's a sickness at this point, but I like turning images into Ethernet cable versions of the image.
What?
Sorry, I'm sorry. I've got a message for Mason from Hunter. Go ahead, Hunter. Go ahead.
What was it? What
Say
was?
my dad's gotta go play now.
My dad's gotta go play now.
All right. See you later, Hunter.
Bye.
Have fun.
Hunter. Hunter, tell daddy rug, 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 rug.
And Wombo.
Wombo, wombo, wombo.
Yeah, so I saw this thing where someone turned Pepe the Frog into it was almost like they redrew it, but with a collection of Ethernet cables. And I was like, yo.
Color? Did they color the cables?
Yeah, so they were like green, bright green cable.
Oh, nice.
Oh
Oh
my
wow.
God. So I just had this addiction. I'm doing the e-learning for a network cabling course, doing fiber optic and coaxial copper. And so I was like, I want to create more things in Ethernet cables. And then I went from Ethernet cables to like recreate Akuma from Street Fighter with pairs of pants. Just like trying to mix the mediums,
I've seen some people do that with clothing and stuff, where it creates
Oh,
like the shadows and the light and shit like that. Like, people are creative, man. Like, there was one I saw, it was amazing. He uses like tempered, the coated glass or something, and he lays it on like floor, concrete, whatever. But he uses specific like chipping hammers, and he smashes the glass properly and creates portraits out of the glass. Fuck it, it's really cool, right? Like, add a little colored dye to the cracks and shit like that, and proper lighting. Amazing, absolutely amazing shit.
you just gave me the idea to use mirrors.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. But he paid a bit more. It wasn't just regular glass, because it has to stick together like a front car windshield kind of shit. Shatter proof, I guess, but it still cracks. And then he can get it up, and he's got it up on the wall, and pretty cool. Absolutely cool. One that I'd actually get a kick out of trying too.
Oh man, the maximum carnage with the mirrors is interesting. Let's see if this is up yet.
That would be cool.
Okay, let's see how it looks. Oh yeah, it's creating kind of like carnage into like shards of glass. All right, so this is almost up. I'm gonna put it to the top.
Yar.
Here we go. Have you ever used Spatial? That spatial.io?
Oh, I thought you said, have you ever had a facial? I was like,
It's not that kind of space yet.
well, not since college, but thanks for asking.
I have had a pedicure.
No, I'm not a big app user. I got a few things on my computer. Shit, just stick to my drawing tablet mostly.
All right, so check this out.
Oh, yeah. What'd you get?
I just put it to the top.
Your Tinder, you got your Tinder app open?
My God.
Thanks.
I knew it.
You knew it. I got outed.
What are you looking at?
Huh?
What kind of bitch are you looking at?
One's in Hamilton. Ugh. I take you in.
Only looking at the fat girl. Only looking at the fat girls.
I'm looking at the what?
The fat girl.
Swipe right, swipe right, swipe right, swipe.
I like it when they feel like a cushion.
Oh my God!
It's like I want a sofa.
That's cool. Okay, good video.
Thanks, man.
Did that fast.
Now, can you do that? Like, have them in order in your files, and then upload it, and they'll be in some sort of order, or no?
It's a good question. I would have to rename the files and try. But what I'll do is I'll create a new space, create 1 through 10, and then try it again. It's a good question.
I just wonder, it might make my life easier. But that's amazing. That is so cool.
It's getting faster.
It's like, maybe we'll have that holodeck. Maybe we'll get there.
Man, I live in Nova Scotia. We got hammered on that hurricane, dude. Oof.
You're in Nova Scotia?
Nova Scotia, eh? That's where we're.
Wow. How is it out there?
A lot of not bad where I'm at. I'm about a kilometer away from, which is about 0.6 of a mile away from the water. But yeah, the coastal towns took a beating. I guess they found the body of some old lady who got swept out, floating in the bay. So yeah, not the greatest time in the good old Nova Scotia, Atlantic Canada. Yeah, the tidal surges were well over like 30 feet.
Whoa, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Is that the worst? That's not the worst hurricane that they've
Well,
had, is it?
it was weird to listen to the science, and I just kind of learned this a little bit, so I'll be vague about it at the same time. So we've had stronger category hurricanes hit the coast, but this one was a lower category, but it had such a high millibar on the barometer scale that it made it really, really fucking nasty for some reason. However that works in the science world, that was the reason why this one apparently, guess, was the worst one we've ever been hit with. It was it was pretty bad. But we got power back on within a day and shit like that. So I had to make coffee on a camp stove in the morning. That was about it. I plugged my battery pack into the Wi-Fi router, and we got our internet back, so those lines didn't go down. So that was nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but yeah, there's some places still out of power and shit like that. A lot of trees fell.
Oh, I never like hearing that.
Well,
How
yeah,
long?
big old oaks.
How long you been out there?
2 years this year. Yeah. Yeah, I came out for just some contract work and got kind of stuck here, and I'm enjoying it for a bit, helping a friend out with her house and whatnot. So she's doing a bunch of renovations. So she's not charging me whatnot. I can't even go live in my house because I leased it out. So yeah, on the road. Yeah, just being a kid again, I guess.
Have you noticed that? I mean, you've only been there for 2 years, so have you noticed anything about the weather changing out there? Like, has it gotten worse? Do you worry?
It sucks for your grandkids, my grandkids.
Right.
Yeah. Has it changed a lot? I think pollution is bad. I don't think they're taking it seriously enough. The glaciers are melting. Like, I was watching a video just the other day, and it was just historical thing. There's a place called Athabascan Columbia Ice Fields. It's Athabascan Glacier up in the Rockies. And it's called Columbia Ice Fields, Athabascan Glacier, and it's just beautiful. And I do remember going there several times when I was a kid, driving through from British Columbia to Alberta. We stopped there all the time. And the glacier was right there. Like, pretty close. Like, the road, glacier. It wasn't a hike to it. Now, when you stop there, you have, must be mile and a half up the side of the hill to get up to the glacier. Not much left of it. They say all the glaciers in Canada should be gone by 2030 to 2050.
Hard to believe.
Yep.
Do you think there's anything we can do to stop it?
We haven't helped the situation, I think, but this is one of those breaths of the earth. We haven't helped it; we've sped it up, but the earth has this way of going through this ice age and the change, and without a meteorite hitting, it's been pretty consistent that this shit happens quite a lot, right? Just that. What do they say? This is probably the Earth's 9th ice age that we can measure, kind of thing. So we're just caught at the tail of it. Because if we lived 10, 15,000 years ago, the world was covered in a lot of ice. So we'd be going, holy fuck, why is it so fucking cold around here? Look at all this ice. What can we do about it?
Yeah, I mean, I've read that, what's happening now may be consistent with the end of the interglacial that we're currently in, the beginning of the end of it. But it should be I would think it's...
Wait a minute. Is that what they mean by the age of Aquarius?
Yeah, really.
Jeez. It was right there in the name.
Yes, for sure. Well, now that we can blow asteroids, maybe we can figure out some crazy way to...
I knew that we should have blamed the astrologists this whole time.
I think you're right. What sort of punishment is suitable for such a thing?
But we've got bigger things to worry about. So right now they're testing a. Did you see that? The spacecraft they're launching from Earth, and it's going to collide with a small moon that is circling an asteroid, and they're going to try to hit that with a spaceship. They're going to destabilize the orbit of the moon, hopefully trying to change the direction of a meteorite flying through space. This is what they're going to do, like now, not 10 years. They're
So,
going to do it like this week or something.
so you're saying
It's
we
not
need an
coming
arc?
at us. It's not coming at us. Like, this is a test.
What is it called?
I don't know what it was called, but deGrasse Tyson guy, what's his name?
Neil. Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about it. And he's laughing about the concept of it, right? You know, throwing a rock at the ocean and see how many waves you can make, kind of thing. But he actually said, unfortunately, we should have been doing this shit since the 60s and 70s. Is because if it does happen, at least we could have said, well, we tried that didn't work. So he's excited to see the results, but he's not optimistic about the results. He's like, you think? Like, but they're doing it. Smart people are in NASA right now trying to throw a spacecraft at a moon circling an asteroid to see if they can change its direction.
NASA crashes spacecraft into an asteroid in the first ever planetary defense test.
Did they do that today? I saw a bunch of nerds sitting
Yeah.
around their computer looking at the screens. I didn't know if they got it done or not. They seemed happy with themselves, but it's hard to tell with nerds. Smart people are great.
My brain goes directly to the maybe it's Stanley Kubrick theater.
Yeah. That movie Don't Look Up. Did you see that movie Don't Look Up?
Yeah.
That's what this was like. Yeah.
What was that old movie about the asteroids? Aliens or asteroids?
Say that again. Are they what?
What movie?
About an
That's not like Spaceball.
Say that again. You broke up.
Oh, sorry. It was a movie about, I think, asteroids hitting the Earth.
Deep Impact, Armageddon.
No, it's a different movie.
And then they had to like go off in the spaceship because the Earth was going to be impacted. Yeah.
And then there was Deep Impact.
Yes.
Tia Leone. Pretty lady.
What was it called?
Kind of depressing in the end of that Deep Impact movie for the people that didn't make it, but it was a good movie.
It was.
Oh no. Let's see here.
You're still looking for a name of a movie that has asteroids in it?
Armageddon.
I said that.
Hold on. Okay.
Armageddon, the one where they were going to get smashed by a thing?
No, this was like a kind of it was shot like following a news show.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're like,
because this one is an asteroid's about to hit Earth.
Hold on.
Right?
Armageddon
is the asteroid's about to hit Earth.
No, Billy Bob Thornton. No, hold on. Meteor, no. Night of the Comet, no. Without War. Yes.
Yes.
You know that movie?
What's it called?
Warning? Without Warning.
No.
Oh, I'm gonna put it to the top. It's cool because it's from it's shot like a news show. I still think I'm right. Asteroid. Yes. Is it 1994? Really? Yes. Okay, I'm gonna put. You want to just like, scroll to the end of the movie. The last 5 minutes is, I guess like most movies, right? Okay, I'll
Yeah,
put it
really.
there. Watch the first 5 minutes, the middle 5 minutes, last 5 minutes. Up to the top. Without warning. Great movie. So Mason, how do you know KC?
Oh, geez. Just Web3 stuff. About a year ago, I guess. We've been hanging out. We were doing some crypto stuff, bullshit, talking together, whatnot. And then I kind of moved off into NFTs, and yeah, we're just kind of hanging out since. Good guy. Did some artwork for his kids. They have up on their wall.
Nice.
Yeah, keep telling them to frame them.
Yeah. Did you have any money on Voyager?
No.
Okay.
Escaped up.
Nice.
Watched all our friends fucking flail around.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Oh, geez. Like, Casey and I were just like they were going crazy about it. Got to do it. And then Casey and I were probably talking about it maybe about a month ago. Just the disaster that our buddies went through with that. Like,
yeah.
Even so far as before the Voyager blew up in their face, these guys went out and took a fucking fake link off of Telegram and bought their first $26,000 with it.
Jeez.
They had to go back and start all over again and find some more money. So after they threw 26 grand out the fucking window on a fake link, they had to jump back in with more money, and it just. Unfortunately, hanging out with those boys and trying to listen to them, they're smart, they're intelligent, but they're playing the lottery. They just,
Yeah, these are digital lottery tickets.
Yeah.
That's awful that happened.
Yeah, it happened to a lot of them, but, I'm just a silent investor kind of thing. I don't try to push my opinion about investments on everybody, but hey, man, if it looks like shit, smells like shit, and it tastes like shit, guess what? I think it's just a pile of shit. And it just felt that way. Stop with the trying to FUD. Like another buddy of mine here, he's in these chameleons. He was in our Discord group, and he's like, "Hey guys, you should have a look at this chameleon." And it's these little teddy bear things, they're cute or whatever, NFTs. And he's like, "It's a really good entry point, 0.43." This was just a couple weeks ago. 0.43, and then it went down to like 0.35. And he's like, "Oh, that's such a good entry point. You guys got to get in on this." I just looked tonight, and it's 0.1.
Whoa.
Like, I know it's just kind of rampant across the whole NFT. There's nothing really spiking. But, yeah. I just can't get on board with these people who go around these Web3 spaces trying to shill projects. One, they're not invested in, or two, they are losing their shirt and they're trying to drum business up. Right? I'd rather you come to me and say, "Hey, Mason, I know it's a little late for this project, but, like I bought at 0.07 and right now it's 1.3 Ethereum. You might want to think about it. Sorry I didn't tell you a month ago." That one I'll look at, right? Not the one that went from 0.43 down to 0.07 and go, maybe if you jumped in, it'll help out. No, it won't, dude. It won't.
Yeah, I'm not moving this market.
Yeah, you got a lot of money. Why don't you just buy a bunch? No, that doesn't. Are you fucking shitting me?
How do you think I got a lot of money? By avoiding shit like this?
Yeah. So.
I don't know. Like, I'm 39, and I had my financial licenses in the 2008-ish crash, right? And so I understand that for a lot of people, this is their first rodeo. So it's like, you ever see that portrait of Icarus and Daedalus?
Yep. Yeah.
Man, I hope people learn from this, but they won't.
No, because for a lot of people, payday is lottery day. That's, they do the same thing with lottery tickets. They go to the same thing with casino. A lot of times, you find NFTs being the same sort of thing.
Right.
Just buy a bunch, see what grabs. Yeah, it does kind of work that way, but.
What's the dumbest thing you invested in, Mason?
Nothing. I've tried to, not everything's been a success, but it doesn't make it a dumb investment.
All right, I'll rephrase. What is an investment you made that you have since rethought?
Some NFTs, but I don't even remember the names of them because if I invest in 10 products and one or two of them take off, I forget what the other 8 are. I don't give a shit. I really don't. Right. When you invest sometimes, 30 to 85 Ethereum at a time, right?
Right.
You're more worried about what's going to go up, not down. I don't know. What's the worst one? Shinobi Inu?
Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, that was probably the worst one. Not that it's lost any money for me. It just has stopped, and I don't think there's any traction. So, no, I did well with early Bitcoin and early Ethereum years ago, like 2009, 2010 shit.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Like my average on Bitcoin, I think, is 13 or 1400 each.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Some drunk guy in his garage with a computer. He's like, you got to buy some of this. And I was like, what's that? It's going to be all over the place, dude. So I bought a bunch. You used to have thousands of it, but over time you just spend it, invest.
Right. Yeah. There was
Not
that.
like, not like the guy who spent 10,000 Bitcoin on a pizza.
I know. I can't even imagine. Like holy moly.
But at the time, though, there was nothing wrong with that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it sucks now, but at the time, his Bitcoin was worth $25.
It was delicious pizza.
Yeah, bet you it was. That would hurt. All those things hurt, right? But I could look at Ethereum one day, and you're down 5%. Let's say that's $200,000. You're down that in a day, and you're going, well, how come I didn't sell? Because you don't know if it's ever going to go back up. If you play that flip game, you better be really fucking good at it. Really fucking good at it. So to me, I've just done well of just buying and forgetting. Don't get caught up in the game and the emotions and all this other shit. Look for the investment, right?
Right.
What are people doing? Sometimes it costs you more too to grab on. Like they talk about, don't FOMO into a product. I don't know. I've got more traction from the FOMO than I have from buying the hope on something that is just sitting at floor level.
Yeah, that's true.
Buy above the floor too. Like if you're buying NFTs, buy above the floor. Like you can buy the floor for, let's just say, on-chain monkeys. The karmas, they're nice, they're cool. I got hope in the whole on-chain monkey gang. The karmas are 0.1619. I can't remember 19. I think tonight, but don't buy them off the floor. Go get something with value, rarity, the traits that people are sought after. It's not just so much about the price of the NFT as much as utility and what people are going to look for in the future. So, yeah, I like the karmas. I like the on-chain monkey guys. They're a good gang. I think they got the shit together. Is it going to moon? Fuck, I don't know. It'd be nice because I bought some. If it fails, I'll just move on. Like, look at May and June, though. Like, at the end of those months, I bought a whole bunch of shit. I got a wallet manager. She spent a whole bunch of money one day. But it was 9 products, and 3 of them took off that month, right? And it was a hell of a good month. But that doesn't happen all the time. right? And that was the month of Moonbirds, Goblin Town, and Other Deeds.
Oh, I
We
remember.
got lucky, got super lucky. Does that happen all the time? No, because before that, I spent 8 months struggling, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's difficult. I'm not a trader or flipper of NFTs myself, although I used to flip books from eBay to Amazon. It's kind of the same principle. I'm looking at Amazon rankings going up and down and
Yep,
decide, it's always the same thing.
yep, yep. No, I flip NFTs. People are like, well, how many do you own? Well, one day I can own 15, and then tomorrow I'll own 2.
Right.
Right?
No, but I love to flip, like I like the feel of getting what you think is the maximum value out of something that you bought for super low.
Yep, yeah. Like I used to have 10 Bored Ape Yacht Clubs. I have 2 left, and the other 8, I didn't sell them for 100 Ethereum each. They went for various amounts of prices that if I had hold on, I'd be way happier. But I can't go. You can't go through life looking at that. I got money out of them, and I was happy at the time. So it's like my Fidenzia. You know about that product?
No.
It's just artwork. Fidenzia. Look on OpenSea or something. Floor
Oh,
price 100 Ethereum, and I got in like floor. That was like last June, right? Good flip, but costs
well,
money. But if you play big, you're gonna lose big too sometimes. So
I don't like doing that.
no, there is a risk. It is like gambling, though.
I'm waiting patiently with my Bitcoin.
Yeah, I have hope for Bitcoins too. Always buy Ethereum. Doesn't matter the price. Doesn't matter. Hey, if you're looking for that $20,000 Ethereum in 5 or 10 years from now, well, then it doesn't matter what the fucking price is today. 1,700, 1,200, don't fucking matter. Buy $50 worth. If you're gonna buy it and leave it, don't touch it. It's a great investment, I think.
And nothing blew up during the merge, right?
Nothing really went down during the merge. People are going, okay, well, it's $1,200 today. Yeah, well, it was $900 fucking a month ago. So what are you talking about? Like, didn't you buy any at 900? You dumbass. Like, what are you bitching about?
Right. Ethereum maxis. I did not know there was such a thing. So, aside from hanging out and flipping NFTs, what do you do, Mason?
Helicopters.
Wild.
Yeah, I have a helicopter business in Canada. We rent, lease, own probably 18 birds, and I got 3 out here. That's what my contracts are, flying them around here in PEI and Newfoundland. And then a bunch doing firefighting and whatnot in BC, waiting for a good ski season to come up. That's my favorite part is heli-skiing. Taking
So,
people, a bunch of kids to the top of mountains and kicking them out.
but if those things can fall out of the sky, pretty
No,
much.
they don't fall out of the sky.
Well, they can paint like it's
They
not
can,
like glide stuff.
They float. If your engine stops, okay, if your engine stops and you have forward momentum and your blades are still attached, that thing will float to the ground like a plane. Not as well as a plane, but we do it every year. We have to practice it. It's called auto rotation. Look it up on YouTube. Good videos
Oh,
about it.
got you.
So you are flying along and you have to have an instructor who has to rate you on your aircraft every year, pilot proficiency check. And at some point during that flight, he'll just turn the engine off and the aircraft will jolt because you're not hovering at 3,000 feet. You're always flying forward. So the
Right.
front rotor and the rear rotor are geared together. So even if the engine stops, those things will still be in sync and still turn with the wind, with the forward momentum. So you get a 60 mile an hour forward wind, the blades are still turning, and you got a couple minutes before you're going to go sliding into the ground.
Oh, okay.
We'll slide right into the runway.
Hopefully, yeah. But
Yeah.
it sounds like it could, yeah.
We don't like doing it all the time. It's hard on the gear, but we'll still practice it every year, and we'll come to a 10-foot hover. Right? He'll turn the engine on at about 60 feet, and you'll come to a hover. So yeah, them falling out of the sky. No, most times it's a bad piloting, bad wind. Very rarely does a malfunction take out an aircraft. Hydraulics leaving an aircraft, that's just really hard to fly. Like on those big helicopters, the hydraulics goes, you can't hold that stick. You'll crash. But do they fall out of the sky? No.
Well, that's good news.
Unless you hit something with the tail. You hit something with the tail, but you're going to hit something with the tail if you're flying forward, right? But if you're coming down in the trees or power lines and you hit something with the tail, yeah, you're pretty fucked.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Oh, it is. Greatest thing I ever had to do was learn how to fly.
Have you gotten into any hairy situations before?
Yeah, a few times, but ice is a bad thing.
I was going to say, weather seems to be like a common thing among disasters a lot.
Because you're not flying above the weather ever, right? So
Right.
it hits, you don't have much choice. You're not doing 300-400 miles an hour to get out of the way. You're doing 140 maybe miles an hour the most. That's it, right? So weather's a big one. Bird strikes suck. But
Right, yes.
all of it though comes down to piloting ability. So if you get caught in weather, did you do your due diligence and check the weather before you left? Did you make the right decision? Right? As pilots, generally, we don't try to push it. It is dangerous if you're a pushy pilot. There's old pilots and there's bold pilots, but there's no old bold pilots.
That's true.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to this hurricane. I'm lucky. I'm lucky it's hitting Tampa. It's the first time ever where I just kind of just did not pay attention to something like that. I've never been. I'm usually one of those weather fan people that watch the Weather Channel fairly regularly, But I don't know. I just overlooked it. So, luckily it didn't really affect me, obviously. But it's coming to the other side.
Yeah. Another Hurricane Ian coming now.
Ugh.
And Florida homes are not built as well as Canadian homes. You guys got a lot of trailer parks and shit down there, and you guys don't have to build homes that worry about snow load or ice load and shit like that. Like, your houses are made out of freaking peanut brittle, man.
Well, I hope not, because I'm living under peanut brittle.
Yeah, they'll all float if you get flooded.
I can't swim. No, I can swim.
Gators will all get you.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm thinking the gators and lizards will be like climbing on top of me to like escape the water. Yeah.
Saw a 400-pound gator get captured in the streets of Texas the other day. It was like, yeah, you got loose. Big 400-pound fucker, eh?
Whoa.
Yeah.
They have those in Texas?
Yeah, they got swamps there.
I had no idea.
God, you guys get a big enough wave, you're going to get washed out from Texas to Florida all the way.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Oh, that will happen. Absolutely. The glaciers are melting. We were just talking about this.
Right.
Look at New Orleans, man. They've been blocking the water for that many, generations, and they still can't do it. Like, it's not going to get any better. The water is rising. Period. Coastal cities, New York, Seattle, San Francisco, Lisbon, Italy, Rome, all these coastal cities, they're just going to be so fucked when the water is all not in ice form anymore.
Well, we'll have to turn like the asteroid shooter to, the water and redirect the water somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see Blade Runner 2049?
It was a while ago. I think I vaguely remember seeing it.
And he's flying through the city, and there's just that giant wall holding the water back from Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That got me thinking of Escape from L.A. back in the 80s.
Yeah, good old Kurt Russell, Snake Plissken.
Yep.
Yep.
I miss movies like that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We don't have enough of them anymore.
No, not enough Kurt Russells in the world.
That's true. But it kind of makes me think that, maybe some of the men out there aren't really manly because they're watching like crap. Like, there's so many.
You can't. I know you're a woman, please don't take offense to it, but you can't make a woman the movie these days. You can't make a movie these days with a strong, sexist male lead that looks at the woman and goes, yeah, wow, she's a nice piece of ass. That's just off the table. So those Kurt Russells of just being man and a movie about man, yeah, they just don't fly anymore.
I know, and on a personal level is very depressing because, it's like I don't mind being called a nice piece of ass. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
But yeah, so but these days most men, well, first of all, I have, severe resting bitch face, so unless it's not good. I mean, I am out of practice making sure my face stays animated so that people aren't afraid of me. So I have to work on that a little more, I think. But, when there's manly men about, that doesn't matter. Then I just look crabby. But right now I look like, some dominatrix because all the manly men are no longer around. So
We're in Canada, by the way. We're in Canada.
Oh, the manly men. Oh, you guys are like the ice road truckers and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that. It's not real, I get it, but it's still cool.
Kurt Russell's best movie, Big Trouble Little China.
Oh, definitely.
Remember that one?
Yeah, I like the campy action type goofy movies. They're fun.
Yeah, good old Golden Child.
Oh, no, I there's a band called Rat that did a song for Golden Child, and I played it like all the time working out during that era and then into the 90s. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, I'm going to jump out, though. I'm going to go make a coffee. I had a nap earlier. Now I need to stay awake for a while, so make a coffee. I think I've got a meeting here in a bit. You folks have a wonderful day. Thanks for the chit-chat. Let me talk about stupid things. Always enjoy that.
See you later.
See you later,
Nothing
guys.
stupid about Kurt Russell.
Medal love.
Thank you. He just oh man.
Mason's a character, isn't he?
Love Mason.
He's fun.
He is fun.
And why me, God? Endless suffering. I love
You like that t-shirt? What a great t-shirt.
Why do I love things like this?
Oh man, it's my favorite.
It's it's awesome. And you've read the comic about cats wanting, plotting your murder, right? Like have you read that? It's one of my favorite all-time things. I don't know why. It's like, let me die. No, blah, ha, 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 ha. I'll tear something else off you for. And you've read the Sorrow horoscopes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those things crack me up every time. It's like Leo, just when you think your life cannot get worse, boy, were you wrong. It can get worse, and indeed it will. Type of thing.
It's the spirit of living in a van down by the river.
Yes. But I guess it's the contrast that's so amusing. But yes, that T-shirt says it all. Endless suffering. Yes.
I put the end of that movie at the top. I love the end. Yeah, check it out. You'll love it. Because I imagine, like, if it went sideways, this is what the newscast would be like.
Let me.
I don't think I've heard anything as dark as talking with the YMCA director on his lunch break in the middle of a ghetto. Dude, that was some dark shit. It was probably one of the darkest conversations I've ever had.
So we did maximum Cablarnage. What should I do next? I would love to do a Venom one. A Venom one would be cool.
You know, not for nothing, I see some of the actual art that you make, and it's pretty fucking good. Would you stop making everything goddamn cables?
You don't like the cables?
That's cool. It's funny. Make some real shit.
I like what? Like, what should I use now?
Um, you
I've
know,
used bottles and pants.
I forgot. Damn it.
The pants was my favorite.
Okay, I want you to turn the microphone into the Incredible Hulk.
The microphone?
Yeah, take a picture of your microphone, turn it into
Oh,
the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that.
yeah. Okay.
Wow, sorry. And that's
Yeah, I think that would work.
that noise the whole time. It's like, you know.
Is there audio distortion coming through my mic? Is that what you mean?
No, the movie. Without warning.
Yeah, without warning. Scary movie.
I mean,
So,
jeez.
so beautiful. It's so like, yeah, just like if you're watching just any news program.
It's very dank for sure.
Oh man.
There was a what movie? They did it all live. But it had nothing to do with that. It was like for some reason that reminded me of it was like one of those nuclear bomb, like we accidentally bombed them, and they're trying to bring like a fighter plane down that has the nuclear weapon to return, like because they made a deal and they weren't able to stop it. I forget the name of it. It came from a classic book too. All right, never mind. I'll figure it out. It reminded me of that. I think Harvey Keitel was in that one.
Are you talking about Hunt for Red October?
No, this was like a sci-fi type of thing.
Oh.
Oh my God, Sandra, have you seen the flooding yet? Like, is it around you?
When I came in, I was like walking through like 4 inches of water, but I mean, it stopped. I don't want to say it stopped. It's like drizzling where I am and right now.
Yeah, this is the bands. So you're gonna get
Oh,
bands of storms. So you get the outer bands and until the eye gets close.
uh-oh. So I'm gonna be swimming at some point. Okay. No. Well, we had a
No,
bad
but
storm.
yeah, you guys are in the tropical season, no? It's like one after another after another.
Well, as long as I'm okay with that. I mean, there's going to be some sort of risk, regardless of where you are. Um, but it's not fun. But at least Florida's not cold.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I mean, maybe it won't be. I mean, we're at the end of the season now. I mean, we're getting towards the end, I think.
Close, yeah, closer.
So we didn't do so bad. But I hear this one's gonna whack Tampa. One of them will anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man. So we'll see. Yeah, I like that without warning. I'm gonna watch the whole thing. The maybe I missed it, but the excerpt I saw, is this wait, Dart Mission? Hold on here. What's this? Uh okay. So, I saw the end of the broadcast, but I think it's the whole movie. But I watched like the last 4 or 5 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm. It's
That
gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
So cool.
I have to retrain myself not to say yeah all the time. Um I'm going to be talking to Big Boss Man later on. I have to give him a call. But
Oh yeah.
I have like garbage mouth. Do you know what I mean? It's all the slang and the it's not very articulate. And I've been noticing it more and more, and I'm thinking, I have to get back to like lawyer voice, using complete sentences with yes and no and pronunciation. That would be great.
If you can put it on and off like a pair of pants, you know what I mean? Right? At least you won't have to do it for long. You can get in and out of character.
Yes, true. Yes, that's for sure. I need it. Like I said, I You know, I
I
get.
do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I went into a space. Remember how there was that opportunity to be a community manager, right? So now those folks are taking their stuff forward, right? And they hired someone else, which is fine, right? Um, but I stayed in touch with the guy I interviewed with, and so I noticed that they were having a space talking to one of the co-founders, and I'm going to tell you right now, like I rehearsed what I was going to say 4 or 5 times before I said it.
Right. That's good. That's
You
good.
know, just like, hello, how are you? Just had a quick question for you. Um, what is your plan to reinstate XYZ and ABC technology as you originally intended it? Like, like I rehearsed it like 4 or 5 times, and then, I put on the microphone, you know, turned up the microphone gain, whispered into the mic. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes. No, because right, you don't want to. I run the risk of sounding like a hillbilly. It's any. I should be polished, so I'll have to do more of that
well, I
practice.
think I think you can start polished and then start introducing some grit as they get to know you,
Right.
right? Like I find like it's easier to start with a very simple, a very short, super concise question or point. And then if they want to engage with me further, then they can engage with me,
Well,
right?
I'll give you an example. When people ask me about Bitcoin,
Hmm.
I have like a lot of thoughts about it at the same time. I should just write down, what I want to say, but because I immediately start thinking about sustainable development and basic income and all these like other type of issues that I think that Bitcoin could directly or indirectly help. And but people are basically like, yeah, but what is it? And it's like, well, it's a decentralized blah 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 blah. But I have so many thoughts at one time, I just get word salad going on a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I need to crystallize my thoughts on these things better than I have in the past. Otherwise, I'm going to get blown up.
I find the way I cheat is by speaking slower. And when I speak slower, it gives myself the time to think what I'm going to say next, just like I'm doing right now.
Right,
That is
right.
something I've been practicing for the last 4 years, probably.
Mm.
It takes away saying like, um, uh, the like, so it's more the pause and the breath, kind of like what he was teaching us. That's why I'm really liking the class because it's uh reminded me of some techniques and ways of things that I've learned before, you know.
You know how
Good.
much I breathe now? I'm
Mm?
consciously breathing slowly, so
Mm-hmm.
much more since the class started. If I change anything, I'm going to try to consciously be aware of what my breath is doing,
Mm-hmm. Like where you're grabbing it from and how you're inhaling it and how you're
how I'm
releasing the
inhaling.
word. Yeah.
Is my belly expanding? You know how sometimes you breathe in and your belly like pulls in? It's like supposed to
Mm-hmm.
do the opposite. So I was like, no, no, no. Especially before I speak, like
Mm-hmm.
because I'm watching the class go on, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
noticed that every time they talk, it's about um, if you're not breathing, you're not living.
Mm-hmm.
And I notice, and Ali's like giving me this feedback too, that she says that when I find, just like I feel like I'm getting into it now, which is when I finally start speaking,
Mm-hmm.
I'll end up finding the rhythm eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm going to approach a text, just keep saying it over and over and over again until you're breathing and calm. Because sometimes when you're trying to get a script perfect, it's
Mm-hmm.
like perfection is the enemy because you're so wrapped up in trying to fucking get this thing as perfect as ever perfected.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you can't do and think it. I don't think you can do and think at the same time. It's kind of like the same problem with golf, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like,
I
you
don't
know,
know, but right.
putting is very hard, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because it's like, even though you're closer, it requires it's like, almost like being a sniper with your voice.
Mm.
See,
But I think,
I just do the
go
Happy Madison thing. I just yell at the, are you too good for your home? Go home. That's what
ahead.
that's what I do.
Reminds me of a lot of pitches.
I had to do it. It's like I'll never forget the Bob Barker scene. The first time I saw that
Oh
scene,
yeah,
I couldn't
classic.
believe my eyes. Because he's Mr. Price is Right. He's such a nice guy, and then he's like, calling people a bitch and like what? Crazy. Yeah, that's a classic movie, in my opinion. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You were saying, sorry. I take a wrecking ball to conversations, which I know is rude, but I couldn't. It's like Happy Madison's is an iconic golf movie, but I definitely have to clean up like that, like